Hey guys, it's Steph. Thank you so much for joining me once again. This is the earliest I've ever filmed a video. It's 7:15 in the morning. I just got out the shower. My hair is drying, so hopefully I don't look so tired. But anyway, I'm sorry that last week I think I was only able to upload one video. I had a busy week. Hopefully this week I can upload 2 to 3. So anyway, today we're going to continue on with our money series related to Peru. And in this video, I'm going to cover where you can change your money when you are here. So let's get started with that. If you're coming to Peru for the very first time and you don't have any Nuevo Soles on you, then the first place you want to probably exchange money at is at the airport. And at the airport you have two options, and I've discussed this in a previous video, the one about where you arrive at the airport for the first time. But just to recap, you have an option to exchange your money at the ATMs or the cash machines there, or the money exchange counters that are there. So the cons about changing your money at the exchange counters is that they pay you out a really low rate. So I don't know, sometimes it's like 20 points less or 20, I don't know, cents or something less. It's a really big difference. And you're probably better off trying to change some out at the ATMs, although you know you will probably get charged by your bank to withdraw money and use your card abroad and stuff. So those are the pros and cons there. Maybe if you already have some cash on you and you don't want to exchange at the cash counters or the exchange counters, and you don't want to withdraw from the ATM, then the best thing that you could probably do is just exchange the bare minimum that you need at the money exchange counter, just for what you need for your taxi to get you to your hotel or accommodation or whatever, and then just save the rest of the cash that you have so that you can exchange it somewhere else the following day or later that evening. The first place where you can exchange your money is with cambistas. So you'll see cambistas during the day. They are these people that wear these kinds of, I don't know, jackets or something. It's not really a jacket though, but it's like these vests. That's what it is, vests. These little vest type things that have like the euro and dollar signs on them. And most likely, most of you guys are staying in Miraflores, so you'll find them at the Óvalo of Miraflores, near the BCP Bank or BCP Bank. And you'll see these people there, standing there on the street corner. They're usually standing on some street all together usually, or pretty near one another. And they're wearing these special vests, different colors. In Miraflores, they wear blue. In other districts, they wear like green or some other stuff. So you can change your money out with them. And the pros and cons to changing your money with them is that, okay, a pro is, for example, you don't really have to wait in line like you would at a bank or at an ATM. Sometimes the ATMs are busy. You get a pretty good exchange rate, much better than in the actual bank. The bank always pays you far less, so you get a much better exchange rate with them. I think those are the only real pros there. The cons are that, you know, it's a lot riskier because you're out in the streets, someone or something could happen. It's not as safe. So those are the pros and cons, as well as another con is that if someone for some reason is trying to pass off as a cambista and they, you know, they're not real cambistas, they're not registered, because these cambistas are registered with the district that they work in. So not just anyone can put on one of those vests and start working the corners. They have to be registered. And I know from discussing this topic with a cambista in Miraflores that a lot of the cambistas there in Miraflores have been working there for over 3 decades. They all know each other, they're like family, so they all have each other's back, and it's kind of difficult to have an extra person, a new person, come and join the group, because they have to kind of ask the other people in that area that they work with if it's okay, if they can bring in another family member or friend or whatever, and then they decide, and then they can go to the district and ask that person if that person can have permission to work there. So it's a little bit riskier doing it that way, because if for some reason there have been events where people, they pretend to be cambistas and then they give people fake money and then they disappear. They go away. So those are the pros and cons. I've never personally had a problem with any of that. The cambistas that I've worked with have always been really friendly, nice, and helpful. And also, like, when you're living here and there are certain cambistas, they're usually the same ones in the same areas, so you'll get to know them and you'll know who to change with, and sometimes because you know them, they'll give you a slightly better rate. So those are the pros and cons to that. Oh, and one more thing about cambistas is that they generally change dollars and euros. But I was talking to the one in Miraflores the other day, and he said that even if you have like British pounds or some other foreign currency, that's not very common to exchange there. He said all it is just a phone call away to call whoever and consult and ask what the exchange rate that day is, so that they can exchange that for you. He says that generally all currencies are accepted, but that's the one in Miraflores, and I assume that he said that as well because Miraflores is where a lot of the tourists are, but if you go to other districts, they're probably only going to have euros and dollars. So that's just one thing to look out for. But the one in Miraflores told me, yes, you can exchange other currencies there. The next place where you can exchange your money is at a casa de cambio. So, I don't know how you would translate that. House of change, exchange, I don't know. It's a change bureau, I suppose, or exchange bureau. That's it. And basically it's a lot more secure than exchanging your money out with cambista on the street, and it's not exactly a bank either, so it's a special place where you only exchange money. And they give you slightly better rates than the bank as well, probably about the same rates as a cambista, which is why most people, I think, if there's not a long line, they would prefer to go to a casa de cambio instead of a cambista, because the rates are more or less about the same. They're definitely better than the bank. And that's where you can also go change your money. They all look differently. If you're in Miraflores, near the Óvalo de Miraflores, then where all the cambistas are standing, then there's a casa de cambio like right next to Saga Falabella, which is this department store. It's a big one, it's pretty nice. So that's another place that you can exchange your money out. Also, when you exchange money at a casa de cambio or with a cambista, they will stamp the bills that they're going to give you, because this stamp represents that particular casa de cambio or that cambista, so that if you were to have any problems with the bills, for some reason, if someone says that they're fake or whatever it may be, then this is your kind of guarantee of like being able to go back and say, hey, there's this problem with the bill that you gave me, so you need to fix it. And any respectable casa de cambio or cambista will exchange that for you. So that's a kind of form of security that they provide with their service. The pros are, as I mentioned, it's a lot more secure than changing with a cambista. The exchange rate is pretty good, it's better than the bank. The waiting lines are not so long, depending on the casa de cambio that you go to. Most casa de cambios have only like 2 ventanillas or 2 windows or tellers, I don't know. But the one in Miraflores that I mentioned has, I think, 4. So it's quite big, so you don't usually have to wait very long. And yeah, I'm sure that they exchange all types of currencies as well, but obviously the ones near the or in the districts where there's a lot of tourism or tourists, they obviously are more likely to exchange other currencies other than euros and dollars. The next place where you can get Peruvian money at is at bank ATMs or cash machines. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna probably be charged by your bank. It's not going to give you such a great exchange rate probably, and also you're going to be charged for using your card here as well, but it's up to you whether or not that's the best option for you, because a lot of people tend to feel more comfortable just having their card and withdrawing money whenever they need, rather than have cash on them and then possibly like lose it or get it stolen. So that's up for you to decide, but that's another option as well. And I believe that Interbank or Interbank, their cash machines or their ATMs are available in a few languages, I'm quite sure of. So there are lots of banks here, but that one I think has more language options in case that's a problem for you. And the last place that you can exchange your money is at the bank. And as I've been mentioning, the bank is a lot more expensive. I think that the bank gives you a better rate than the airport, but it's still a crappy rate. So I would not exchange my money there. But I mean, I wouldn't. You can, of course, if you feel more secure that way. Go ahead and do that. But I wouldn't do that. And then a lot of times the banks have really long waiting lines. Like, it's terrible. And maybe I'll go on a rant about banks one day. But I would not exchange my money there. Me personally, I would go for a casa de cambio. And obviously it's a lot more secure because you actually go in the bank. No one is like really seeing how much money you're exchanging and stuff, because you have to be careful as well when you go into these places when you're changing your money anywhere with a cambista, casa de cambio, or a bank, is that sometimes there might be people that are out there kind of scouting out like foreigners or people that are that happen to have a lot of money on them, so that they can, you know, rob them of it. And so you have to be a little careful with any one of those places, you know, to put your money in a very safe place after you leave those places. Okay everyone, so that's it for this video. I really hope that this has helped you and it has clarified like where you can change your money at and you feel more comfortable with that. If you have learned anything new, or if you feel comfortable now with exchanging your money in Peru, or if you just generally like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up or a like. That helps me out a lot. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, then definitely be sure to do that, and I'll always do my best to give you good information that will help you during your stay here, or whether you're transitioning to actually come and live here. And what else can I say? If you want to follow me on social media, you can definitely do that as well. It's up here somewhere. This video today is dedicated to one of my subscribers. I don't know your real name, but your YouTube, Snapchat usernames are LJD, so LJD, thank you so much for your support. I really enjoy your snaps and your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me on, I think, 2 of my channels, I believe. So thanks again. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait for more of your future snaps. So thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate all of you taking time out of your day to watch me ramble, and I really do my best to keep these videos short. I'm telling you, every time I make them, I tell myself, okay, 5 minutes or less, and it somehow ends up being 10-12 minutes. So thanks again, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.